Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the MatchNet podcast. We have with us Andrea Kuhn and Christian Nseka. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hi.
Hello.
I always say Nseka, but you say Seka when you pronounce your name.
No, Nseka.
It's
You said it
Nseka.
right before. Yeah.
Okay,
Nseka.
thank you. Thank you. I'm not just being some weird American. Okay. So I'm glad to have you guys because I'm tired of doing these alone, these podcasts. I like having give and take, and I appreciate having you. So in the last episode, we talked about limiting beliefs. In this episode, we're going to talk about one of those limiting beliefs. But this conversation really started. And the reason I want to do this episode is because I posted a video recently on our MatchNet YouTube channel. And the video was called, "Why is it so hard to find someone?" Right? And basically in the video, I was stating that the primary reason, and of course there are different factors, but the primary reason that it's hard to find someone is usually more to do with your own limiting beliefs and not so much to do with external factors or the church or the system or all these things that we talked about in the last episode. And the reason I share that is because yes, there are certain flaws in our system, in our like matching websites, for example. I'm not discrediting that at all. I think we as a team know very, very well what we can do better and what our responsibilities are. But I want to get into that. Like, what is our responsibility to help facilitate matchings through programs, through resources, but also what is the responsibility of the individual, the single, the candidate, right? So I posted that video, and then I was talking with a candidate, a sister, and she said, we were having some give and take. I was giving her some mentoring. And she's like, "Yeah, I watched your video. It was good, but you didn't talk about how crappy the websites are."
Oh my God.
She said, "You didn't talk about the fact that you guys are making," she did not say this, but she said, she didn't talk about how challenging it's, the system essentially is making it to find someone. And I was like, okay, that's a good point. Like, that is actually a good point. And I really genuinely want to define, like, what is the responsibility of BFM? What can we do better? What can we as a team do better, which we're trying to do? And also, more importantly, for you guys who are listening, is what can you do better? And what is your responsibility, right? So that's ultimately what I want to have a conversation about. And so what are your first thoughts about that?
I think my first thought straight off the top of my head is having a commitment to work regularly on the process. This is something that I find time and again with candidates. There's a week or two of enthusiasm, and then they stop contacting me regularly, or they keep changing our appointment when we agree to meet. And I think that is the first thing, is really being committed to making a certain time every week and doing it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a commitment on both sides, whether it's a matching supporter or somebody you've agreed to meet with from BFM, as well as the candidate. Okay. It's a commitment of both.
So having the commitment to just do something regularly as kind of a reminder, maybe to jolt you a bit into it, right? And not just sit on your hands a little bit. Okay, Christian, how about you?
I'm going to go more on the system side. With the way the matching process is today, all that we are trying to do, and those who were before us, the BFM percent and the others, then yourself too. The idea is how to make it easier for our brothers and sisters to find a spouse. So this is a process. It is a process of the process in the process. So it will not be perfect because it has to be adapted to circumstances, to the time. And one thing that we need to be mindful is that this process of having matching websites, it has brought results. Many families, many first-gen have found spouses using those websites. Even those who did not find a spouse using the website, they have had access to the website and they have had insights on what to do and what not to do in order to approach a family. They may have approached a family friend or whatever, but the website has helped them to find a way or even get the know-how to do that. So we should not just be knocking the websites down. we should be mindful. And that I can bring it to what Andrea said. It is about the people making the effort. The website will not help everybody. That we know that, but it is a platform that those who need it can use it. The result may be different because people are different. People's experiences are different. People's reality is different. So the result will not be the same. Just because somebody came to the website and got matched, found a spouse in 1 week doesn't mean that the person B can also do the same thing. Different timing, different people, different realities. So the system is there to really help, not to create red tapes like many people like to send message to the BFM. You guys are creating, I saw another red tape, this and that. No, we are here to help. Yeah.
Right. So essentially, that the matching websites aren't perfect. They're not, at least in the standard of Tinder or eHarmony or whatever, dating websites are out there. They're not up to that standard because we don't have a multi-million-dollar budget primarily, right? But they do produce results. And actually our surveys because we survey everyone that goes to the Blessing, we found that 30% of people that go to the Blessing did use a website, right? So that goes to say that it does produce results, and it's just not that people are portraying or proud to announce that they found themselves on a matching website. It's and that's just the reality of it, right? So we'll talk about that, like our responsibility, and I think we should also talk about is that really helpful to just say, the matching websites aren't great, therefore there's no way to find someone. I don't know anybody. But what is our responsibility as the BFM, the MatchNet team? Because currently there's the Blessing for You website, which is an international, so that's not necessarily our domain. Just to clarify things, there's OMS, channelbook.org, which is a what's the word? Non-associated. It's a grassroots company that the team has poured a lot of money and time into, like tremendous amount. And then there is the Matchbook, which is run by Blessed Families Association, which is also not part of the BFM, right? So currently, as it stands, from my perspective and from our viewers, we don't have a matching platform from headquarters. Is that okay? And are we going in the direction of making one, Andrea?
I mean, I definitely think our long-term goal should be to have our own. I think we should have something very professional. Of course, that takes a lot of money and investment. It's not going to happen overnight, but we always want to be growing and developing. We want to offer more resources. And like Christian said, people are different. There are some people who really like the matching handbook, and we created a workbook now. There are other people who want videos, who want to use websites. There are Facebook groups. There are people who like to use social media to connect and find people. So I think there's never going to be one perfect system. We're always going to have multiple tools to help people to find their spouse.
Right. Okay. So we don't have a website currently from the American BFM and national headquarters. However, we are currently in the talks about making one and integrating MatchNet into becoming a profile-based matching website. That's in the works. I don't know if I'm announcing this too soon, but I know that the the entire national ministry and team is really serious about this, and we've been meeting about it. So that's to look forward to. Let's also talk about some other resources, because the BFM does provide to help people facilitate matching, because the matching website is not the only way to find people, right? So what are some of those resources that we have?
I mean, we used to have parents matching convocations in person before COVID. Things have changed a lot since then. They've moved online, but that's opened up a whole opportunity of attending intercontinental PMCs, which I think has been a great blessing for many people. I know quite a few couples, my candidates included, who found a match by attending international PMCs in the last couple of years.
Great. PMCs, yeah, those are great. So keep an eye for that. We also have 24 plus, right?
Oh,
24 plus retreats and online retreats. Great place for people over 24 years old. Christian, you have a group of you're working with a few resources, right?
Yeah, that one is mostly information based. One thing that probably we should make clear here is that the mission of the BFM really first and foremost is to protect the integrity of the blessing, and also in relationship with singles or families, it is to protect the people that we are representing, the candidates, the singles, the families, it is to protect them. This is probably, it's possible that the people who are criticizing the the matching profile website may want to see a style of dating website, but the matching profile websites are not dating sites. And I don't really think that they should be used as dating sites, because that doesn't protect our brothers and sisters. The idea is to protect our brothers and sisters. Are there still brothers and sisters who are hurt using the matching profile website? Yes. But I bet you that number is less compared to if we made it a dating website, or if we made them dating websites. So really, we try to protect the integrity of the blessing, and also we try to protect our brothers and sisters, protect our children, protect our families, whether first gen, second gen. We try to protect every candidate who registers with the BFM here in North America. And I know that every BFD in every region has the same goal. So does the international headquarters. We always try to find ways how to make it accessible, how to help our brothers and sisters, but at the same time, keep them safe. So will it satisfy everybody? Again, no. But people should know that everything that we are doing, what they call red tapes, quote unquote, actually are in place to protect them.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's a good perspective, I think, to have. So what MatchNet is, so we just did a program called MatchNet Connect, which was a 6-week program of meeting together to connect with people, network, socialize, and also receive education. So if you were part of that, or if you know of that program, I think that the future of our networking with people is going to look similar to that, in that matching, like, societally speaking, we're conditioned to want to have like dating websites, quote unquote, and like go through a feed of 100 men or women and kind of pick and choose who we want to like, we're conditioned to want that kind of thing. But I think it's actually not the most effective way to, this is my theory, I think it's not the most effective way to find someone. I think it's not an effective way to understand somebody based on what they write about themselves, or based on what they look like based on photos, right? I think both of those are not important factors, but really it's about meeting someone. That's how you get to know someone. We've been doing that since the beginning of time. That's how we've been able to socialize and see who is an appropriate partner, is through actually talking and meeting and talking about things and having give and take and killing a lion together. And no, not doing that, but you know what I'm saying, right? So that's why I think actually stuff like 24+, I think is going to be the direction we're going. Like actual physical, not physical, like virtual or physical, getting together, having conversations based on the idea of we're brother and sister, you're a child of God. How are you doing? Let's get to know each other as a family, not on the basis of, speed dating or asking these really intimate questions about each other. It's like, no, we've got to create the habit and learn how to communicate with people as family. And on that foundation, if you have the foundation of all the stuff we talk about, relationship with God, understanding the blessing, you want the blessing, you've done the preparation, you're a candidate on that foundation, then yeah, your team, your families can communicate with each other and see if it's a match. So I personally believe that the future of these matching systems, profiles, websites is going to be more of a connective experience where we meet every week and we just get to know each other, ask questions, good question, and it's fun, it's interactive. And if you decide to pursue a relationship, you can check out one of their profiles online, and then you can go from there, right? So that's where I'm hoping that we're going to be going in the next few years with what MatchNet is and developing more programs like that. Any other opportunities people have, or any thoughts on that?
I have a few thoughts on it. Back to the beginning of what you just said about people wanting to, like have a dating website and have hundreds of people to look at and decide. And actually, my experience has been quite different. We had a global PMC back in just before Christmas, and one family after this were approached by 29 other families, and this poor young brother was just so completely overwhelmed by these profiles, how to figure out who do we choose. I think I do agree with you. I think it's much better, to have kind of these small group settings where you're just talking with 3 or 4 other people and having an intentional conversation. So we're definitely not talking speed dating or anything like that. It is going there with a purpose and an intention to really look to get to know people, to be ready to share your own heart and have the intention of finding your future spouse. And that's what MatchNet Connect is trying to do, is to, like Christine said, to set up a safe framework where people can meet in a safe space with clear guidelines. And also we want to give topics of discussion to really help you and guide you, that it is very clear and intentional in your purpose.
Yeah, and another thing is that this is something that we really don't realize because of how we live our lives. We just go on living our lives the way generations have lived their lives. But the truth is that we are a global family here, and we are establishing something new. This is, we see ourselves not only as God's children, but we also see ourselves as true parents' children. So this is a global family. And because it is a global family, there is a global culture, and the way our websites are set up, the way the system just of matching, the way it is set up, it is like global family trying to put children of the global family. A family in the US or in Canada may contact a family in Brazil. Why? Even though they don't speak the same language, but the underlying relationship is we are brothers and sisters. It is a global family, and that is the protective true parents' love. That is what is protecting us. That is where we are. And so the idea of, like you said, Benji, trying to get 100, whatever speed date, that it kind of like destroys the spirit of what your parents are trying to do. Staying within the spirit of what your parents are trying to do, we have to look at each other. Of course, it happens that some people may not look at it like that. Some parents may not look at it like that. Some of us may not look at it like that, but we need to look at ourselves, each other, as we are family, regardless of the skin color, regardless of where we live, region, or whatever, language. We are family, global family. And when I reach to a family in Japan, I'm reaching to my relative in Japan, reaching out to my relative in Japan. For my child who is their cousin, their nephew, or their niece, that's how it should be.
Wonderful. Thank you, Christian. You always bring that vertical hammer of God down on us. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the direction I want to go in this episode is really, okay, that's our responsibility. And I think we all have responsibility, and we're taking ownership of that, and we're doing our best. So at the same time, I think people listen to this and they go, but. So if you find yourself going, but, did you know, what about this, that? If you find yourself going that, then the last episode we did about limiting beliefs is the one that you really should listen to. So obviously there's a responsibility of the system, or whatever you want to call it, the church, the movement. But more obviously is that every individual has the responsibility and the ownership to take action, to do something. And the last episode we did, if you didn't listen to already, is all about how having a limiting belief about yourself, about something, does not actually serve you, the individual. We're talking about you now. It does not serve you in finding the matching, the blessing, and creating that radiant, vibrant blessing that you want to create, that successful marriage. Even if it's true, this is the point, even if it's true that the system is flawed, the odds are stacked against you, even if it's true because of that mole on your face that no one's going to accept you, which is not, by the way. Disclaimer. Even if it's true, is that going to stop you? That's what we're really trying to get to. Even if it's true, are you going to let that limiting belief stop you from taking action and going out there? Right? So we can wrap it up. Do you guys want to say anything before everyone heads out?
Yeah, personally, I just want to say that, it takes a lot for a person to put themselves out there to start a matching process. It takes a lot because it takes faith, because you don't know how long it's going to take you, where it's going to lead you. I just want to encourage everybody who's looking for a matching to just remain faithful, to be patient, to just try to find out how you can use the system to your advantage. The system has limitations, yes, but sometimes those limitations may even benefit you. You never know. So try to use the system to your advantage as much as you can, because you can use the system to better yourself.
I would like to just end actually with a quote from an older couple who only got blessed in their 30s. And they said in their matching process, what really kept them going was know your what and why, which is what you want to do and why you want to go to the blessing, but to surrender your when and how it's going to happen. So don't rely on a system, don't rely on the websites. Empower yourself. There are so many possibilities to do this, and you don't need a system to help you get there. The system is available, but the real power is in the action you take every day with your parents, with your matching team. And that's the part you're responsible for and the part that you can influence. So please feel strong and feel confident in yourself and that you have the power to do this, and everything else is just a tool. It's a potential tool. That's all.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrea, for those words. We'll kind of close. Anyone that's listening to this, you guys then do consider following on the podcast or subscribing on YouTube, wherever you're listening to this, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google wherever. And because we're putting episodes and stuff just for you guys to help you out and get you thinking. If you didn't check out the last episode about limitations, then go ahead and check that out. If you want to join the MatchNet program, you can find it at matchnet.us and consider joining that. All right. It's good to have you guys. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye.